Susanna, Mary, Ava, maybe somebody else out there too. Thanks for being here. So I've titled today's class Dialing In, and I was just thinking of this very physical action of dialing in, like a radio dial would be a good example of remember when we used to have to find the exact position of the knob to be exactly on the song, hearing it at the best frequency. I mean, not that radios don't still exist, but a lot of it is just button pushing. But this idea that finding balance is not just about zeroing in, narrowing your focus, or widening the focus. It's a constant going too far one way, going too far the other way, and just constantly dialing into this place of balance and focus. So I've been, I might have mentioned this, but I've been teaching helping my daughter learn to read, and it is, for me, it's this constant dialing in of like, okay, let's focus on what's happening now, like the micro, this very small incident of what is happening now, and then dialing it out, like looking at the bigger picture and kind of balancing between those two things when there's this frustrating moment when, it doesn't seem like progress is being made in the moment, but then seeing how progress is happening in a wider view. So I think that's very applicable to how we approach our yoga mats and how we approach our practices. So even if it isn't like, even if you take a longer view of a pose, like even if you are not making clear progress in a pose, maybe you're making progress in how you approach the pose and how the talk that you have with yourself around the practice, because that's really where a lot of the practice is happening, in the invisible. Okay, so let's get started. I also want to keep it light, keep it playful, keep it fun. That's why I have these party balloons. I did it just for this. Also, Johnny's here, Johnny the cat, so he says hello to Ava, and she's the only person he really likes. And that includes me. Okay. Okay. So Mary is here. She texted me. Hi, Mary. I'm sure Johnny likes you too. His love for Ava is just overwhelming every other emotion in his life. Okay, so I'm going to turn on this podcast thing, and we will start, as we often do, in a comfortable cross-legged seated position. And I'm noticing I got a balance here, so if you always bring one leg in first or always one leg on top, switch it up today. So balance is something that we seek in the moment but happens over time. Bring your hands to a comfortable resting position. When you're ready, close your eyes. And let's shrug the shoulders up towards the ears with the next inhale, like you're hugging your neck with your shoulders, and then exhale, let the shoulders fall, shake them out. Inhale up. Exhale, let them fall, wiggle it out. One more time, inhale up. And exhale, release. Okay, so let's dial in the shoulders. A little bit of tone in the upper back. Drawing the shoulders in, an active and intentional expansion, and offering exposure of the heart space, as well as a release, a relaxation of the weight of the arms, shoulder blades heavy down the back. Heart space soft as it opens. Settle down through the legs and hips, creating that foundation, that rooting connection with the earth. And then from that connection, grow tall along your spine. Chin parallel to the floor, back of the neck long, crown of the head tall. So let's start by, tuning into the broader world. So use the sensory perception to take a survey of your surroundings. And with the eyes closed, I think that the primary way I think to do this is through sound. So what sounds are reaching you from the outside world? And consider expanding this awareness all around your body. Notice sounds in the room that you inhabit. Consider if you can hear the sounds of movement, air moving. Maybe the sounds of another living being, whether it be a person, a pet, or plant. Then begin to survey the sounds of your own body, of your own being, contributing to this larger cacophony of sound. Cacophony might be a little dramatic for the volume of the sounds that you're hearing. And now, as you might have already done, turn your attention to your breathing. Breathe in and out through your nostrils and transition to the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, the triumphant dialing in breath. So the breath is in this constant state of movement, constant state of expansion, contraction, exchange between the external and the internal. So when we are feeling out of the moment, not dialed in, not focused on where we are or what we are doing, we often come back to the breath, or in yoga, that's really what we advise. It's really what we talk about, the breath being the base of the practice. And it is kind of always this movement back and forth, kind of a relationship of two opposing actions. Bringing us back to center, bringing us back to the present. Let's continue with our box breathing technique today. So as a review, It's called box breath. So you're drawing the four sides of a square, square being a shape with four equal length sides. So the first side of the square will be an inhale for 4 counts. The second side of the square will be holding the breath full for 4 counts, emptying for 4 counts, holding empty for 4 counts. Okay, we'll do 3 rounds together, and we'll do 2 rounds on our own. Empty your lungs, and you can do the bandhas with this if you know them. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold empty, 1, 2, 3, 4. Today we're going to take a breath in between. Inhale and exhale. Next box breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold empty 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath in. Breath out. Last box breath together, then 2 more on your own. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold empty 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath between, and then 2 more. Upon completion of your 5 rounds of box breath, bring your hands together in front of your heart. We'll chant Om 3 times before beginning the moving practice today. So remember to elongate the sound of Om. I've been picturing the sound as a vibration moving up from the floor, moving up from the pelvic floor, up and up to the back of the throat, or even up through the crown of the head. Exhale, empty the lungs. Inhale for the 3-part Om. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, Lift your head as you open your eyes, and you might switch the cross of your legs, bring the opposite ankle on top, and then start to send the upper body out in big circular motions, keeping the hips grounded, finding some fluidity and curiosity as you move the upper body in these big elliptical shape. So if your head was drawing a a shape on the ceiling, it would probably be most like an elliptical shape. Is it just called an ellipse? Okay. You physicists out there are just shaking your head right now. Other direction. I have been watching Cosmos with my partner. It's been very enjoyable and informative. It's like way too much information all at once, but it's good. Okay, back to center. Take any padding out from underneath your hips. Move into your tabletop position. And start those cat and cow stretches. Inhale, belly and chest down, tailbone and gaze lift into your cow, and then exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone towards the floor, belly button towards the ceiling, push the earth away, dome the upper back, in cat, and continue to move through these two shapes with the pace and duration of your breath and with your own discretion. So if you like to hold in one shape, do it. If you'd like to send your hips back towards your heels or shift your hips side to side, do it. I trust you guys. You've been doing these cat and cows for years. And having said that, how is today new and different? What is there to discover? I think we all have the experience that being curious about our practices keeps us going, keeps us interested, keeps you coming back to the mat week after week. Okay, from here we're going to bring ourselves to a neutral spine. You might bring your left knee towards center for balance as you lift your right knee out to the side. And then make big circles with the right knee, pulling it, widening it out to the right, towards the back, up towards the right armpit. And you might take a moment to pad that left knee as you circulate this right knee. Noticing the range of motion of the right hip. And then in the other direction. I've been practicing my roller skating, and I feel like this is where all the roller skating muscles are. Okay, doesn't that feel good? Okay, right knee down to your pad. Let's do the left knee, one direction. And notice how you're pushing weight into your hands. Are those poor wrists bearing all the weight of the upper body? Try to push some weight down to the knuckles. And the other direction. Okay, knees back down onto the mat or onto your padding. I kind of like the padding. I'm going to keep it. And let's bring the left hand below the face, right hand to the back of the skull. Inhale, open the chest towards the right, elbow and gaze up. Exhale, right elbow towards the left wrist or forearm. Let's do 4 more. Inhale, open right, look up. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, open. Head and hands, shoulder on the back. Exhale, curl in. Last one. Inhale, open right. And exhale, right hand below the face. Second side. Left hand behind the head. Inhale, open the chest towards the left. Gaze up, elbow up, shoulder on the back. Exhale, curl it in. 1. Inhale, open left 2. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, open left 3. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, open, left 4. Last one, curl it in. Inhale, open to the left, head in the hand, shoulder on the back. Exhale, hand down. Come back through your table, maybe move some padding. Tuck the toes under, shift the knees back 4 to 8 inches, somewhere around there. And then let the pelvis fall forward as the shoulders roll back, point the toes, curl up into kind of a lazy cobra pose. And then tuck the toes, send the hips back, maybe the hands slide back to release the hips back towards the heels in an extended child's pose. And let's shift between those two shapes. Pelvis falling forward, toes pointing back, shoulders rolling back into the lazy cobra. And then exhale, shift the hips back, maybe slide the hands back. What's genuflect? Is that the word for bowing? I need to use that more in my teaching. Head to the floor in the child's pose or in this bowing position. And then forward, move with your own breath. Shoulders back, heart and gaze lift. And again, modify these movements based on what you're feeling, what you know about your own body. Because don't be afraid to be the one who knows your body the best. How well? Nobody else has ever lived in your body, I don't think, unless you had some kind of Freaky Friday incident going on. Right? Okay, come back to onto your belly. I'm committed to fun today, remember? Okay, so we're gonna lie on our sides, like we're lying on one of those luxurious psychiatrist couches, and then bring your right foot to the right thigh, right knee to the ceiling. So you're lining up your elbow, your shoulder, your left hip, and your left heel. So all kind of one straight line, so you're balanced on your left side body. So even this balance is kind of tricky here. If it's too tricky, just move the left heel forward, the left elbow forward. Okay, right foot to the left thigh, lengthen the tailbone, point the right knee up as though you're doing tree pose on your side, fallen tree. Take the right fingers, the right middle index finger to the right big toe, if you can reach that. If you cannot, get your strap or strap substitute. Widen the right hip away from the right armpit and then attempt to extend the right leg skyward. Push the right heel towards the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone, lengthen the tailbone and then tuck it forward. Extend through the right inner thigh, right shoulder away from the right ear. And here's a real dial-in pose, like how much little micro movement is going on here. I always am surprised by how hard it is to balance on the side of the body with so many points of connection. I would think it would be easy when there's so much of the body on the floor. But I think it's just kind of a foreign place to be. So explore, dial it in. So you go one way and then you go the other way and then you come back a little bit. You go in, you look at the small picture, you look at all those little micro movements and then you take it out to the bigger picture. And then there's always the breath. So if you're having difficulties, frustrations with balance, remember that the practice is primarily about breathing. So come back to breath. Okay, right knee down. Let's come back and do the second side. So I'm just gonna flip around, right side of the body on the floor. Right elbow, right shoulder, right hip, right heel align, or bring the ankle or the elbow forward for more stability. You could even potentially do this with your back against a wall. Okay, left knee to the ceiling, left foot to the right thigh or calf. If you can, reach for that big toe. Try to keep the distance between the left armpit and the left hip crease as long as possible. And once you have that foot, attempt to extend the left leg straight. So this is, we do this on our backs a lot, this extension of the inner leg, contraction of the outer leg, lengthening of the tailbone, but now we're in relation to the earth differently. So again, there's this dialing of balance, dialing in. So again, come back to that observation. So that's another thing that I think about balancing in the practice. How much am I pushing, and how much am I pulling? How much am I trying to control my practice, and how much am I noticing what's happening and taking a step back and letting the shape of the pose create sensation that then is there to observe, maybe even there to enjoy. Okay, release the left leg and come into a reverse table. So feet parallel, heels about hip width distance apart. Let's start with the fingertips pointing towards the hips, wrists shoulder width distance apart. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart up, push the feet down, and lift the hips up. So start with the gaze either towards the ceiling, or you can start looking down the front line of your body. So if your hips are below your knees, lift your hips higher. If your chest is sunk down, push down through the hands, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest higher. Extend through the tailbone, shift weight out of the wrist, down into the knuckles. Notice weight distribution in your feet. So if your knees are widening apart, you probably want to pay more attention to grounding through the inner edges of the feet. And then you can take the head back, open the throat, notice. Are you feeling this primarily in the connection, the strengthening of your glutes, or the strengthening of your shoulders, or the opening of your chest, the extension of your quads? What is it? Where is it? Don't miss it. Keep breathing. And then bring the chin to the chest, lower the hips down, and let's turn the hands, flick out the wrists a little, flick the fingers before we go on to the second round. You can turn the hands back if you want to experiment with that position. Maybe helps you to bring the shoulders even deeper onto the back, but be wary of locking out the wrists with the fingertips turned back. So maybe keep a little micro bend in the elbows and push the feet down. Yeah, it's definitely, it definitely feels like a position where I'm going to lock out my elbows. So paying attention to that with the fingertips pointed back. Maybe again, start with the gaze down the front line of the body, then the head goes back. And then chin to chest, lower the hips, flick out those fingers again. And then keeping the feet where they are, lift the heart, lift the arms, take the gaze skyward, and then begin to roll down, vertebra by vertebra, onto your back body. Pull the belly button in towards the spine, lower down with some semblance of control until you can't control it anymore. The shoulders and the head down. And let's take the legs straight. Extend through the heels, lengthen through the tailbone. Exhale, curl the chin and chest up. Point the fingertips towards the toes. Keep the legs strong. Thigh bones pushing downward, feet extending out. And then with an inhale, head back down, fingertips towards the ceiling. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, down. Exhale, curl up, 3 more. Inhale, back down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, down. Last one, exhale, curl up, hold, squeeze the legs, lift the heels, Navasana, half Navasana, Ardha Navasana, half bow pose, push through the heels, squeeze the legs, shoulders on the back, collarbones broad, extend through the tailbone, soften the face, keep breathing, maybe do the bellows breath. First 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels down, arms to your sides. Rest the body. Set down the arms, set down the legs. Release the weight of the head. Back to the breath. Dial it back to the breath. Okay, arms either at your sides, hands under the hips. This will be the most supportive as we do our leg lifts. Hands under the hips, arms by your sides, or if you'd like, take the arms all the way overhead. Extend the legs straight. Let's inhale, lift the right leg to a 90-degree angle. Keep the left leg grounded. Exhale, right leg down. Inhale, left leg lifts. 90-degree angle, push through the heel, widen the outer hip. Exhale, lower the leg down with control. Inhale, right. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale, lower. One more round like this. Inhale, right. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the right leg and interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. Press the right thigh into the interlaced fingers. Push up through the sole of the right foot. Widen the right hip away from the right armpit. Notice the back of the right leg. So really, as though you're trying to, give it some energy, as though you're trying to break the interlace of your fingers with your right thigh, pushing into the hands. And then when that energy is met with the wall of your fingers, extend that energy up and out through the sole of the right foot. Now draw the right knee in and up towards the chest. Now interlace the fingers around the front of the right shin. Keep the left leg grounded, pushing out through the left foot. Pull it in, pull it up. Keep breathing. And then we're going to come to a half happy baby. So either bend the left foot to the floor to come into this, grabbing the right foot with both hands, right hand to the inside, the outside, left hand to the inside, maybe grabbing the foot or interlacing the fingers around the foot, then kicking the foot into the hand, pulling the knee down. So that can be done with the left knee bent or the left leg straight. So left knee bent is going to help you get into the shape. If you're having trouble getting there with the left leg straight. Kick the right foot into the hands. Pull the foot down with the hands. And again, find the breath. Okay, if you have the left leg straight, extend it. Draw the right knee back, in and up towards the right armpit. And then take the right arm out to the right, grab around the front of the left leg, the front of the left shin with the left hand, and then begin to guide the left knee over to the left, keeping the right shoulder on the earth. So if the right shoulder has lifted up off of the floor, as it likely will have, push down through the left elbow, lift the left shoulder, and then try to ground the right shoulder deeper. Consider your abdomen and try to shift your abdomen using the strength of your abdominal muscles. Shift the abdomen from left to right. And if you're really feeling it, you can extend the right leg straight and grab the big toe with your left middle and index finger, or even grab the outside of the left foot with your left hand, right foot with your left hand, excuse me. Okay, guide the right leg back to center, hug it in, hug it up one more time, and then extend the right leg down to meet the left leg. Even out at the hips if they've come out of alignment, and then inhale to lift the left leg, interlace the fingers behind the left thigh, push the right leg downward, extend out through both feet. And again, consider this idea of pushing down into the back of the thigh. So push down as though you're going to break the interlace of your fingers with your left thigh. And then when it's met with that wall of your fingertips, the wall of your hands, extend that energy up and out through the left foot. Again, widen the left outer hip away from the left armpit. So that's part of the energy too. All the while, right leg stays grounded, all the while breathing. Okay, relax the leg, draw the knee in and up towards the left armpit. Again, interlace the fingers, hug the knee in, hug the knee up, squeeze. Try to bring the shoulder blades onto the floor, onto the mat, lay them flat as you pull the knee in and up. And then here, right foot to the floor, grab the foot, angle the sole of the foot towards the ceiling, transitioning to half happy baby. Push the foot into the hands, pull the knee down, and either choose to stay here or again extend the right leg. Maybe the heel meets ground, maybe the calf comes down. Thinking as you extend the right leg, thinking about grounding the right leg, anchoring the posture as you create this myriad of sensation in the left hip, the left, all down there. So even from side to side, you might notice the effect of the shape being different. So you might have felt it in one place on the right hip, and that sensation might not be congruent on the left side. Again, just something interesting. Keep the practice interesting. If you came to the mat and everything was exactly the same, and you could go to the deepest expression of each pose, and you were, we need challenge, we need curiosity, we need we need to keep dialing it in, The situations change, the environment changes, and we adapt. Okay. Bend the left knee, grab around the front of the left shin with the right hand, left arm out to the left, and then guide the left leg over to the right. So again, that right leg is extended straight at this point. So as you guide the left leg over to the right, likely that the left shoulder will hop up, push the right elbow down to lift the right shoulder, and then shift from right to left across the chest, bringing the left shoulder blade deeper towards the floor. You can even take this rotation into the gaze, taking the neck, taking the gaze, and turning the head to look left. So, didn't say that on the first side, but you can do it here. You can grab the left big toe with the right middle and index finger if you'd like, or the outside of the foot, or don't do it. Again, permission to know your body best. Draw the left leg back to center, left leg down, re-square the hips, and then now the arms again are under the hips at your sides or overhead as we lift the legs in tandem. Extend through the heels, squeeze the legs, lengthen the tailbone. Inhale, lift the legs up. Exhale, lower the legs down. I know sometimes I do this with the opposite breath pattern. Inhale, lift the legs up. Let's do 10 in total. Exhale down, that's 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 3, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 4, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. I believe that's 6. 4 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower the heels to the floor with the breath. Heels touch down, then feet on the floor. Reach your fingertips to the sky and then begin to peel your back body off the floor, starting with the back of the head, the neck, the upper back, curling up. Maybe try to do it without grabbing the thighs. Come on up, reach up, and then hands push you up into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. Lift and spread the toes, bend the knees, rest the torso on the thighs, let the upper body hang forward for a few breaths in ragdoll. Sway side to side, maybe shake the head yes and no. Dialing in to a release here. And then fingertips to the floor or to blocks in front of you. Push the feet down, lift the hips up. Lengthen along the backs of the legs, lengthen down the back side of the body. Extend down through the crown of the head as the head grows deeper towards the floor. Lift your shoulders away from your ears. You might bend your elbows out to either side of the room. You might start to walk your feet closer to or along the outside edges of your feet. And then with your next inhale, come up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up, push through the feet. Grow up, arms overhead, look up, push down with the feet, and then hands to your heart center, arms to your sides, and arrive in your mountain. So first time standing in today's practice. Feel your connection. Feel the roots growing down through the feet, the strength, the stability of the legs. Lengthen down through the tailbone. Again, shoulder blades settle onto the back, settle down the back. Heart is open and soft. Again, always back to the breath. Bringing you into the body, into the present moment. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead as you look up. Exhale and dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway, and we're going to plunge into our C salutation. So make sure you're not going to roll into anything behind you, and sit down into your invisible chair. Take your arms forward, and then exhale, lower the hips down, sweep the legs overhead. Inhale, roll back forward, balance on the feet, half awkward chair, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, climb the mountain, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Okay, now you kind of know what's coming. Make sure you have the space in front of you as well as behind you for a few more C salutations. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, sink those hips into your invisible chair. Take the arms forward, and then exhale, lower the hips down, sweep the legs overhead. Inhale, momentum coming forward, back to the awkward chair, and then exhale, fold forward, hips high, head low. Inhale, rise to stand, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides. Again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, take your diving position, sink the hips low. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hips down, sweep the legs overhead. Inhale, come back forward, balance. Exhale, fold forward, head low, hips high. Inhale, rise to stand, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides. Once more together. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, sink the hips down into diving preparatory position. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, dive back. Bottom into the water. Wave the legs overhead. Come back forward, balance again. Exhale, hips low, hips high, head low. Inhale, push down through the feet to rise up. Exhale, arms to your sides. One more time with your own breath. Return to the mountain. Close your eyes. Feel the strength of the legs, connection with the earth, length of the spine, expansion of the heart, unfurling of the fingers, opening of the palms. Dial back in. Okay, open your eyes. We're going to do some balance. So stand on your left foot. You send those roots down. Send those roots down, baby. Push the left foot into the floor, spread the toes, and then stand on the left leg. Feel the strength and stability of your left leg. Say, hey, I trust you, left leg. And then take the right heel to a hover. Start with just the basic standing on one leg balance pose. Pull back through the right toes, push through the right heel. Shoulders on the back, focus your gaze softly on something that's not moving, maybe the floor or the wall in front of you. And then draw the right knee in and up. So interlace the fingers around the front of the right shin, very similarly to how we did this on our backs. Push down through the left foot, lengthen through the tailbone, draw the knee in and up. And then we're going to extend the right leg straight. So again, just like on the floor, let's bring our hands behind the thigh. Push the thigh into the hands, push the heel. So thigh down into the hands, out through the heel. To be 100% honest with you, I've never done this before, but I think it's pretty cool. Push down through the left foot, push down through the right thigh. And then draw the knee in and up towards the chest again. Let's take hold of the right big toe with the right middle index finger. Wind the right hip away, lengthen the tailbone down, lift the chest up, and start to extend the right leg out to the right. Push out through the heel, lengthen through the tailbone. Lift into the front of the pelvic crest. Remember how strong that left leg is, how much confidence we have in the left leg. Focus your gaze. And then bend the right knee. One more thing. Bring the knee into the chest. Take the left hand around the front of the left knee or the front of the left shin, and then open the chest towards the right wall. Right arm can go back. Option to grab the right big toe with the left middle index finger, or grab the outside of the foot and extend the right leg straight. Oh, left leg, you're so wonderful. Keeping the strength and stability. Whoa, I just saw a squirrel leap really far from one branch to another. It's very cool. Open the chest. Talk about focus, right? Okay, that was cool. Right foot back to the floor. You know what I need right now? I need some invisible hula hoop. Get your invisible hula hoop. Okay, a few times, one direction. Soften those knees, soften those ankles. Get some big hooping going. And then the other direction. Hula hoop with your whole body here. Okay, thank you, hula hoop. Now we are going to test the right leg. Do you have what it takes, right leg, to keep us upright, to keep us balanced? Right leg roots down. And then left knee draws to the introductory balance pose. So push down through the heel, pull back through the toes. Hands can start on the hips. Hips and chest squared forward. Dial it in. A little bit this way, a little bit that way. A little bit forward, a little bit back. Okay, left knee in and up towards the chest, interlace the fingers. Hug the knee in and up towards the armpit. Lengthen down through the right foot. Lengthen down through the tailbone. Steady your gaze, soften your eyes. And what's next? Extend the left leg straight, interlace the fingers behind the thigh. Push the thigh into the hands. Keep the strong basket weave of your fingers. As your thigh presses into your hands, that downward movement into the left thigh, extend out through the left foot. Okay, knee into the chest. And grab the left big toe with your middle index finger of your left hand. Lengthen the tailbone down, lift the chest up. Choose to stay here or start to extend the left leg out to the left. Right arm might go out to the right for balance. So as we extend out to the left, we're going to extend out to the right with the right arm. Right leg, you're doing great. Thank you so much for bearing this, the burden of this pose, the burden of balance. And then left knee back into the chest. Grab the knee with the right hand. Start to shift the chest towards the left wall. Push down through the right leg. Lift into the right kneecap. Maybe look back over the left shoulder. Maybe left arm back. Maybe grab the big toe with the right middle and index finger, or grab the outside of the foot with the right hand. Left hip towards the floor. Find your expression of this shape. Again, remember curiosity, remember breath. Remember having fun. There's these balloons here. Bend the knee, left foot on the floor, shake out the right leg. Let's grab that invisible hula hoop one more time. And one direction. Soft knees, relaxed ankles. I had to drop mine. You drop your hula hoop, pick it back up. Okay, send it off in the other direction. And done. Throw out your hula hoop, widen your feet for a wide-legged forward fold. So heels to the back edge of your mat. You might have a blanket or a block or a series of props in front of you. Tone the muscles of your legs, turn your toes in just slightly, lengthen down through the tailbone, hands to the hips, throw on your superhero cape, lift your chin up, look up, lengthen along the front of the torso, and then exhale, bring the length of your spine parallel to the floor, plant your wrists below your shoulders. As you exhale next, lower down, fold forward. Before you take your feet any wider, maybe just bring some height underneath your head and be humble. Maybe your head isn't as low down to the floor as it has been in the past. That's okay. You can grow the pose with your breath. You can grow the pose back to depth over time. Talking to myself here, right? So use this pose to notice the back body, open the back body, lift into the kneecaps as you lift into the hips. Think about the inner thighs pushing towards the back wall as the crown of the head lengthens down towards the floor. Push pressure down through your head into the mat or into the prop. So you're going to put an imprint of your head there. So this movement of energy throughout the pose, this intentional movement of energy. And how does that energy move? What's the fuel for that energy? The breath. Hey, did you just want to go up into a headstand, a tripod headstand? If you did, here's your chance. Shift weight onto the head, down into the hands. Elbows are bent 90 degrees. Elbows and wrists are shoulder width distance. Push down through the head. Lift the toes, lift the legs. Squeeze the legs together. Draw the thigh bones back, lengthen up through the tailbone. When you're ready, if you went up, come down. And then walk your hands back below your shoulders. Shoulder blades on the back, chin and chest forward. And then hands to hips. Come all the way back up. That wasn't our only headstand. We're going to do another one. Walk your feet back together and come into a downward facing dog pose. If you are using the wall for your headstand practice, bring the short end of your mat to a wall that doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. So you don't want to break a window, you don't want to kick through your Picasso.
Everybody's got a Picasso on their wall. Push your hands down and forward, hips up and back. I like George O'Keeffe, so let's pretend we all have a invaluable George O'Keeffe painting on our wall that we don't want to kick into, so go to a different part of the wall. Push your hands down and forward, shift your hips up and back, get acquainted with your dog, and then lower your knees to the floor, interlace your fingers, set up for our our basket weave headstand, so the fingers are interlaced. Elbows are shoulder width distance apart, about 3 inches between the heels of the hands, as though you're cupping a chicken egg between the heels of your hands. Push down through the forearms, shoulders out of the ears, tuck the toes, lift the hips without letting the shoulders collapse forward of the elbows. Start to walk the feet in, lifting the hips higher, getting the hips over the shoulders. And when you can't walk any further forward, lower the head down, cupping just the back of the head between the heels of the hands, and then push down with the forearms again. Lift with the shoulders, push down with the head, strengthen and lengthen the neck, walk the feet in even more. And then if you'd like to try this again today, lift your left leg and let your left leg reach the sky, and then the right leg will float up to follow. And then left leg is going to come down, followed by right leg. And then right leg's going to come up, reach the sky, followed by left leg, and then we'll stay up here. What do you want to do up here today? I've been liking the splits, right? Haven't I? Push up through the tailbone, and then left leg forward, right leg back. Scissor the legs, back to center. Right leg forward, left leg back. Or don't do any of this stuff. Just do your regular headstand. Regular, wonderful. So stay up as long as is in your practice. If you're feeling unstable, then come down. You don't want to fall out from exhaustion. Or do you? Again, you're the expert. You're the expert on you. Maybe you do want to fall out from exhaustion. And try this. If you're ready to come down, keep the hips high, squeeze the legs together, push down through the forearms, push down through the head, lower the legs together. This is really requiring some core strength here. Bring the feet slowly, silently to the floor, knees to the floor, hips back, arms forward, child's pose. Rest the forearms, rest the forehead. Send the arms back, palms turn up, head to the arm bones, round forward. Feel the width, the expansion of the upper back once again. Okay, come forward onto your belly. Extend the legs back, chin and chest on the mat, arms at your sides. Bend the knees, flex the feet, reach back for the outer ankles. If you can't grab both ankles, just grab the right one to begin. And then roll onto your right side. So it might be nice to pad the front of your right shoulder. Maybe if you have a blanket or double up your mat or a sweater as you roll onto your right side. So a lot of this pose is just the body's position and the relationship to the earth. It can be somewhat passive. If you want to energize the pose, you can kick the ankles into the hands. Determine how much of that you want, or if you don't want that at all. Notice what and where you're feeling in this shape. And I notice that when the poses are more passive, there's more of a connection with the energy becomes more subtle. We're focusing on a more subtle sensation that with attention can become pretty powerful, deep, profound. Okay, I'm quiet for three or 4 seconds, and I'm wondering if you guys think that there's something wrong with your audio, because it's rare that I'm ever quiet for that long. So everything's fine. We're just holding here. Come back to your breath. And then roll back onto your stomach. You might take a moment to adjust your padding to the other side of your mat, as we're going to set up to roll onto the front of the left shoulder. So chin on the mat, grab your ankles or left ankle, and then roll onto the left side of the body. So determine the balance here, how to dial in to this shape, to this experience. How much letting go, how much putting more effort. And roll back onto your chest. You can fold your arms underneath your head like you're sunbathing. Turn your gaze to the right, left cheek on the arms or the hand. Okay, chin on the mat. Now we're going to do our active bow pose, or I've been calling it bow pose, like the bow of a schooner ship. Bend your knees, reach back for your ankles. Tone your ankles and knees in towards one another. Let the shoulders be drawn back, heart exposed forward. And then kick your ankles into your hands, lift the thighs up. And then, like the bow of a ship, you might be rocking forward and back with the waves of your breath. And lower down, arms cross in front of you. Sunbathe pose, right cheek to the mat, or right cheek to the hand, gaze left. Big toes touch, heels wide apart. Okay, one more time. Arms to your sides, bend the knees, either flex the feet or point the toes if you prefer. So either grab the outsides of the feet if the feet are pointed, or grab the outsides of the ankles if the feet are flexed. Either way, ankles and knees hip width distance apart, shoulders on the back, kick and lift. Thighs lift. Shoulders back, heart opens. Maybe sway with the breath. And lower down. Arms crossed, maybe opposite hand on front, on top if you can figure that out. Look left, look right, look forward, whatever you want to do. Back to the breath. Chin forward, tuck the toes, plant the hands, send the hips all the way back to a child's pose with the toes tucked under. Opening the soles of the feet, lengthening the low spine with arms reached forward, forehead might touch down. Countering our back bending shapes with this rounded lower spine. Push back, downward facing dog. What a wacky, wild sequence we're doing today. Push the hands down and forward, hips up and back, lengthen down through the heels. And then with your next inhale, right leg lifts straight up and back. Look to the top of your mat and lunge the right foot forward between your hands. First lunge of the class, pretty late in the game, huh? Left knee down, right foot walks out to the right. Both hands to the inside of the left thigh. Let's do an arm balance. Remember the balloons? We're having fun today. Sides of the waistline back, so round the low spine, and then try to tuck your right shoulder behind your right shin. Hold the right shin, right shoulder, right elbow in towards the right shoulder. Then hands to either side of the front heel. Lift your right foot away from the floor. Lift your left knee up. And then shift your weight forward. I'm going to make a shelf with my left elbow. So I'm going to bend my left elbow back, land the left side of my body on my left elbow to come into this balance pose. Whew. Right? So I think this is like Eka Pada Kundanyasana 2. I never know my Eka Pada Kundanyasana apart. But it's like we're doing a splits, flying splits we'll call it. Okay, so let's try it again. Right foot to the top of the mat. Right shoulder behind the right calf. Like we're trying to put our leg on over our shoulder like the strap of a backpack. Hug that backpack strap on. Sides of the waistline back. Lift the right toes. And then shift the weight of the upper body forward, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And no other way to do this for me but to make a shelf with the left elbow. So bend the left elbow back, land the left side of the body on the elbow. And then just keep your cheek off of the mat. If it kisses the mat, that's okay. Or the mat kisses your cheek. Whew, that was exciting and different. Push back, downward facing dog. Guess what? We got a second opportunity to try it on the second side. I'm sure there's some great way we could use our blocks for this, but it's not coming to mind today. Check back with me later in the week. Left leg lifts, look to the top of your mat, exhale, lunge your left foot forward. Okay, right knee down, left foot out to the left. Negotiate your backpack strap all over your shoulder. Hands out to either side of the left heel. Tuck the tailbone, waistline back. Okay, shift weight forward. Lift the left toe, lift the left knee. Maybe this is where you're experimenting today. Maybe you bend the left elbow to the left, making all sorts of noise today. Okay, left elbow to the left hip, supporting the right elbow to right hip, right side of the body supported on the right upper arm. Whew, you'd think I know my right from my left by now. Let's try it again. Bend the right knee. So the pose might be getting the shoulder behind the calf, putting on the backpack strap. The pose might be lifting the left heel. The pose might be shifting the upper body forward, lifting the left foot. The pose might be lifting the right knee. The pose might be shifting the upper body weight forward and balancing on your hands. The pose might be saying, not for me. Okay, hands down and forward, hips up and back. One last down dog. And then knees to the floor, swing your legs forward and come to lie on your back. Take your arms out to a T, feet as wide as the mat. Start your windshield wipering, side to side, in coordination with the breath, question mark. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, knees to the right ankle to the outside of the left thigh. Invitation, left, this is an invitation, not a demand. Maybe left arm along the left ear, maybe grab the left wrist with the right hand. Draw the left side body long. Release the wrist, unhook the ankle, knees back to center, re-square the hips, knees to the left, hook the left ankle to the outside of the right leg. Allow the right inner thigh to sink down, right wrist with left hand. Pull the right side body long if you will. Okay, unhook the legs, re-square the hips, bring the feet together, cross the right leg over the left leg, draw the knees in towards the chest, hug them in, cupping the knees with the hands, possibly sliding the hands down to the outside of the feet. Flex the feet, pull the heels in towards the outer hips. Relax the shoulders, release the weight of the head, back to the breath. Release the feet, uncross and recross the legs with the left leg on top. Hug the knees into the chest, cup the knees with the hands. Maybe stay here, maybe slide the hands down to the feet. Feet are flexed with the hands on the feet. Pull the heels towards the outer hips. This is, after today's practice, if you just want to bring your legs behind your head, if there ever was a day, if there ever was a practice that would culminate in that I've taught, this would be it. It just looks so incredibly silly that I am hesitate to do it, but let's try it. Knees in and up towards the armpits. Backpack the right leg behind the right shoulder. Draw the right knee down towards the floor. Backpack the left leg around the left shoulder. Okay, I just can't even look. I can't even open my eyes because this is so silly looking. Hook the feet behind the head, and then you can play your bottom like a drum. Isn't that just the culmination of our goals in yoga practice? Okay, full on happy baby. It's just like a deeper expression of happy baby, just to put your feet behind your head like a goofball. Okay, soles of the feet together, knees wide apart, extend down through the tailbone, extension through the inner thighs. And then thighs together. Squeeze the legs. Give yourself a hug. I love you, goofball. Chin to chest, forehead towards the knees, round the tailbone. And then find your way to Savasana. What's it gonna be today? Invite yourself to notice, to relax, to enjoy possibly a nice rest. So I'm going to do my legs up the wall today. Do your ritual, light a candle, make a pillow, put on socks, grab your eye pillow. So if you do like legs up the wall, as I'm doing myself here, I think it's nice to have the strap around the ankles to keep the ankles from going wider than the hips. So once my legs are supported on a blanket or a bolster, or my hips are supported on a blanket or a bolster and my legs are off the wall, I'm going to take my strap around my ankles to keep my feet hip width distance. So as you get down into your Savasana expression, you might do a little adjusting, setting down your limbs with care. Dial into the ambient noise of this moment. The sounds of your own body in harmony with the sounds of the world around. If you're ready, when you're ready. Bring subtle movement back to your fingers and toes. If you're ready, when you're ready, bend your knees. If you have the strap around the ankles, remove it. Arms along the ears, roll to one side. Transition from our corpse position into a fetal position. Transition from our practice. Eventually to a seated position. Hands to the heart. Close practice with Om. Exhale. Inhale. Thank you for your presence, your dedication to the practice. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you again, Jason, Mary, Susanna, Ava. I really appreciate you guys being here. I hope that was a good class for you. I thought I was surprised by it. So I am considering, as the weather warms, doing some outdoor classes. I might try it on this Monday morning time slot if there's enough interest. If not, I will either do it on a Saturday morning, or maybe a different morning of the week, or even afternoon. So if you have a preference, if you'd like to practice in person but only can do it a certain time, let me know. I will definitely consider what you guys want, because you're my students. Keep in touch. Hope you have a great day, great week, great month, great year of life, etc. Okay, I'm going to turn this thing off. Mwah.